Thank you for downloading the Barbecue Central Show. The Barbecue Central Show is supported in part by these great sponsors. The Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices and barbecue pits. Their website is thebbqguru.com. Also, Butcher Barbecue, maker of injections, rubs, and sauces. Their website is butcherbbq.com. And by Big Papa Smokers, your one-stop online shop for anything in the barbecue and grilling industry, to include World Championship winning rubs. Their website, bigpapasmokers.com. And by Cook Shack, maker of pellet and electric cookers. You can visit them at cookshack.com. Also, Chops Power Injector System. 3 different size injectors to choose from. Find out more at barbecuekansascity.com, and that's barbecue, BARBEQUE. And by Pit Barrel Cooker, one of the most unique and versatile cookers out there on the market. Visit them at pitbarrelcooker.com. And by Smithfield, the biggest name in pork, bringing you great opportunities this barbecue season. Get smoking with Smithfield and their grant program and committed cooks program. Learn more at smokinwithsmithfield.com. And by Green Mountain Grills, some of the finest pellet cookers on the market. Their website, greenmountaingrills.com. Also by Cookin' Pellets, manufacturer of wood pellets to fire wood pellet cookers. Their website is cookinpellets.com. You can also purchase on Amazon.com as well.
Ed Hayden with Moonshiner Barbecue's 19th annual Jack Daniel's World Barbecue Champion, and this is Barbecue Central.
We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. Broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evening. We got a doozy planned for you, so I'm glad you've decided to join me live or in podcast fashion, however that happens. However, if you're listening live and you'd always want to contribute to the show and you don't know how to get in touch with me, this is how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Everything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, can you believe it? It is another brand new month, and the first Tuesday of each and every month brings a visit from none other than the good doctor of barbecue, Ray Lampe. A lot of things to talk about with Ray, not the least of which is a brand new venture that he just started this past weekend, which was, well, not necessarily a new medium for him, that being radio, but he did start co-hosting a brand new radio show somewhere in Florida, I believe, on The Bone. I think it's called a Mega Bone or The Bone or Da Bone. A lot of bones going on down there. So we'll get the proper place to land on the radio dial and then hopefully on the internet, because if you're like me and you don't live around wherever that show is being broadcast from, it's kind of hard to get if you don't live there. So hopefully there is some type of a recorded audio file of this show so we can go back and review it with the finest of audiophile combs and then tell Ray how he could possibly do his show better. I would never do that, but you might be so inclined. So that's going to be Ray Lampe, plus a number of other things to talk about with Ray. So always look forward to our chats the first Tuesday of each and every month. And then we will roll on to the 9:35 segment Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, the American Royal Barbecue Cook-Off, both the Invitational and the Open, took place this past weekend. Joining me at the 9:35 segment is the winner of the Invitational side of things, Travis Clark of Clark Crew BBQ. Huge win this past weekend. Respectable Open finish, by the way, as well. So we'll get the lowdown from Trav on the big win at the Invitational. Talk to him about how the cook went, how the festivities of the whole weekend went. I mean, you look at the Kansas Motor Speedway, and it is just completely lined with barbecue teams and tents and parties and audience members and fans, people walking around and milling about, perhaps even loitering. So we'll get Travis's take on the whole weekend plus the big win. Then we'll move into the second hour. Of course, I don't have to tell you guys what's been going on down in Texas over the last week and a half, going on 2 weeks now, with Harvey just decimating a tremendous portion of the state, especially out there in the Houston area. And as you well know, if you are a barbecue person here, you know about Operation Barbecue Relief. You know what the idea and how it came about all the way back at a tornado in Joplin, Missouri, that pretty much tore Joplin off the face of the map. And you have an organization of barbecue cookers that said, hey, we can go out and lend a hand. We can be helpful here. Let's do that. And steamroll ahead to where we are present day. Operation Barbecue Relief is widely regarded as one of the best relief organizations out there. It wins awards pretty much every year. And it is doing everything it possibly can to help the people down in the Houston area in Texas, of course. And we will get an update from the CMO and a board member of Operation Barbecue Relief. He's also a pitmaster of Wilbur's Revenge Barbecue and an owner of some famous Dave restaurant franchises, by the way. David Marks will join us. So we'll get the big Houston update, and then, of course, we'll be looking ahead to some other things that they are probably planning for, and I'll get into that here in a second. 10:35, I had mentioned that Travis Clark was the winner of the Invitational side of the American Royal. However, there is an Open side. There was a different winner for that, and that is Porky Butts Barbecue, and Blaine Hunter will be joining me, talking about... Now, that's a huge win, both in the sense of the victory and then in the amount of teams that are actually taking place at the Open, because you can just show up and have at it. It's one of those rare times where if you're kind of in that neck of the woods or you're just feeling froggy and you want to poke out to the Kansas Motor Speedway, which I don't think it's actually going to be at next year, but you can show up and go right up against the best of the best because you know they're going to be there as well at the Open. I mean, if you're cooking the Invitational, chances are you're going to turn around and do the Open too. You're there. So why not? So a lot of teams just like getting out there and seeing how their stuff stacks up against the guys that are out there on the circuit each and every weekend. So that's what we have in store for you this evening. Is that enough? Let everybody know the show's on first and foremost. Facebook, Outdoor Cooking Channel, Roku, my website, thebbqcentralshow.com. That's where you get the audio stream. So pass it around. Let everybody know the show's on. I started off the show last week. I want to do it the same way again this week. And by mentioning, again, the great organization of Operation Barbecue Relief. And as I'd mentioned just a few minutes before, we'll be getting a full recap of what has been happening there the past week and a half, 2 weeks. However, while they are still in Texas doing their thing, there is a very real weather event that is running up towards Florida, perhaps the likes we haven't seen either in a long time or maybe even ever. Irma is a Category 5 hurricane as of this morning. Sustained winds nearing 200 miles an hour. So if you're in that area, please, if you are asked to, leave. Don't hang out. Don't think you can wait it out. Don't risk Mother Nature. She has very good odds on her side when something like this happens at winning, at either causing tremendous bodily pain, if not worse than that. There is already a state of emergency declared in the state of Florida, so I can only imagine that plans are in place right now with Operation Barbecue Relief to cover Florida this weekend or after this weekend's events unfold, I believe the worst of it is going to be Saturday, Sunday, from what I've been hearing. Now, of course, we don't know the final track, but if it's even remotely near the tracks that were being shown, I've just seen one recently in the last few hours that is encompassing the entire state, right from the most southern tip all the way up through the Panhandle, the likes of which I have never seen. So if you are down there and you are being encouraged to leave at this point, don't wait. You wait, then you decide to leave, then you're going to have traffic jams, and then you're waiting. And it was too late. You could have left earlier. So don't wait. Don't be tough. Don't be stupid. Leave. Take caution. Get ahead of the game, and don't be lodged up in rush hour traffic with everybody else that's decided at that given point for whatever reason that, yeah, you know, maybe we better go. Category 5 seems like it's a pretty big deal. We could have won a couple days ago, but now is a good time to go. A lot of people have that thought. Don't wait it out. Get ready, get your stuff, get going, get out of there early, enjoy the drive out, and hopefully something turns it, and you can just return back merely inconvenienced out of time. And that's it. That would be best case scenario. And it doesn't look like that is going to be the best case scenario, unfortunately. But we will keep our fingers crossed, and we'll talk to David Marks about what they might already be in the planning stages for doing out there in Florida, depending on how that thing hits. And hopefully, again, it doesn't. But, geez, you look at the models, and you're wondering how it couldn't possibly affect at least a large portion of the state. So please be careful. Also, before we get into the first break, kind of a weird segue here, but it is official. I wasn't able to announce it last week because we weren't firmed up, but I can say now that we are totally firmed. I will be emceeing or doing a live appearance hosting the September 16th Hartville, Ohio Grill Fest. So if you're going to be in Hartville, Ohio on the 16th, there still might be a couple spaces left for cooking. I did the rib contest there last year. There's chicken contest this year. Centralite John Solberg will be making the trip down, as well as some others. I will be hosting that event all day. Be there like around 9 o'clock, probably be there until 5 o'clock. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in the weeks to come before it arrives. But first, I'll talk to you about Cook Shack. They manufacture smoker ovens for barbecue lovers with any amount of experience. Whether you barbecue in the backyard, on the competition circuit, or in a 5-star dining facility, Cook Shack has the unit that will do the job. And with a full line of barbecue sauces, spices, pellets, and wood chunks, it's the perfect one-stop shop. Cook Shack strives to be your barbecue resource center by offering cooking classes, online recipes, how-to videos, 2 blogs, smoke and grilling 101s, and a video cooking classroom. Check out their website at cookshack.com or follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+. Get advice and share your passion for barbecue on their world-class barbecue forum. Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champions because they were designed by a champion. Ed Fast Eddie Morin, the FEC 100, PG 1000 are always customer favorites. The PG 1000 can double as a smoker and grill, low and slow, hot and fast. The pellet grill line gives you the most for your money. Cook Shack residential electric smokers are the #1 smoker in the industry. High quality means high durability and versatility. Anything you can cook in your oven. For instance, this past weekend, I did another round of jerky with these. Passion and dedication drives Cook Shack's manufacturing. Quality always at the forefront. Get the best in barbecue since 1962 or call 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698. Or visit the website cookshack.com. Doug Scheiding weighing in. An official Texas embedded correspondent. Hartville, sweet. You'll have to be better than the announcer for the American, for the Open at the Royal. What? Is that praise, Doug? Is that high praise? Anyway, anything you can make in that Cook Shack, anything you can make in an oven, you can make in the Cook Shack. That's #1. And visit the website or give them a call. So easy to use. Oh, love it. Smoked tomatoes, smoked jerky. I'm actually going to do some real barbecue in there at some point. Maybe this weekend coming up. We'll see. I have the luxury of doing it. All right, Ray Lampe, when we come out of the break, stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Lampe.
The 2017 grant program was a raging success this season. So, if you want your event to be considered for 2018, head on over to smokingwithsmithfield.com right now and apply for the 2018 grant program. Applications are being taken until October 25th. Don't miss out. October 25th. Please, if you wanted to get in the last time, don't wait. October 25th. All right, get ready for this.
If you got questions about barbecue or grilling, maybe as a hobby or even a business, looking to get an expert's point of view, why not ask Dr. Barbecue? You can submit your questions by clicking on the Ask Dr. Barbecue tab on the website. The doctor is in. Here's Ray Lampe with his nurse, Greg Rempe.
That's right.
Dr. Barbecue.
Dr. Barbecue is in. Ray, always appreciate you making time. How are you, buddy? Ray, you there? Hello? There you are. Oh, thought I had you. You there, Ray? Test 1, 2. Oh, hello? No? You there, Ray? No, he's gone. Hello, Ray. Hello. Florida friends, be smart and safe. Barbecue, peace, and love from Dr. Evil. Sounds like we got him. Ray.
Hey, Greg. I don't know. I couldn't get the sound up on my computer.
Are you iPhone now?
Yeah.
Flip it long ways. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. Perfect.
You look skinnier?
Sure, we'll go with that. No problem. So, first and foremost, what have you been hearing about the impending Irma?
Really, we're hearing the same thing as everybody else. We're just watching it obsessively on the Weather Channel. We don't know. I mean, it's going to hit Florida some way or another. If it, we're in Tampa, we're over on the West Coast. We're in St. Petersburg, and if it goes up the Miami side, it's not so bad for us. If it comes up the middle, it's kind of bad for us. If it comes up our side, it's real bad for us. So we just don't know, and I don't think they know yet. I mean, it's pretty freaky here, I'll tell you that.
From a hurricane perspective, is this one of the biggest that have been coming up the pike ever?
Yeah, the joke down here is, once it's a Category 3, you start paying attention. This is a Category 5.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any bigger than that. This is seriously dangerous stuff. It's, we joke around about it a lot down here because generally they don't hit us. They don't hit direct. They don't, they're not that effective. Whatever happens. But a Category 5 like this with all that attention and depending on where it hits, again, it could hit us direct. If it hits you direct, it's really a bad thing. Nobody's taking this one lightly. I was at Sam's Club this morning, and they were sold out of water at like 8 o'clock this morning.
Will you be evacuating in advance, or when do you decide to make that call?
Yeah, we're in the process right now. Actually, we're scheduled to fly up to Chicago for the weekend for a wedding and fly home Sunday night. But I'm really concerned about getting home on that flight. So I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to get in the car and drive, and maybe we work our way up to Chicago. Maybe we don't. It's tough because once you leave, it's hard to get back.
Sure.
The storm will be between you and your house, and then whatever damage has been done. It's hard, but it also doesn't make sense to stay in a situation like this. So we're probably going.
Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, joining me here talking about real-life things, nothing that has to do with barbecue, about staying alive and the storm that is just off the shore now, Florida, ready to hit this weekend, and we'll see how it goes from there. Ray, of course, holding the weather stuff aside if we possibly can and looking into the future, every time you're on, we like to get the updates about the Dr. Barbecue restaurant. Where are we at with that right now?
Well, I sent the mayor a nasty letter last week and told him that I was tired of telling my friends that everything was going really good because it's not. We're getting. It is. It's fine. It's just delays, but the delays have gotten really extreme now, and they're just the city's booming down here. Is really what I think the problem is, and they just don't have enough people to review plans and inspect them and everything, and it just takes forever. And I understand that, but we're beyond it being. I understand that it was a long time, so I really did send him a nasty email the other day and said, dude, I've been really nice about this, but people from all over the country literally ask me every day when the restaurant's opening.
Right.
I got an email from Q and Brown today over in England. They're coming in November, looking forward to going to the restaurant. It's not going to be open. The Big Green Egg president was in town. He's like, hey, let's go check out the building. I was like, we can go look at it, but nothing's happened since you were here 2 months ago.
Oh, no.
So it's just one of them things, man. You hope when it's your project that none of that's going to happen, but we're in the middle of it now.
Is that what the most frustrating thing is? I remember when you had first kind of leaked it out to me and we were having a discussion well, do we even want to throw out a date? Do we not even want to? Because I would imagine if you didn't throw out a date and start to hype it a little bit, everything would have went way ahead of schedule and you have been open for 2 months already and nobody's going to be there. It always seems like it's one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were going to promote it for a long time. We understand that. It's okay. But we didn't know it was going to be this long. We're over a year. I just talking to Artie from Big Green Egg today having lunch, and he said, yeah, he was here last year for Labor Day, and I showed him the building, and we had just closed on it, and, everything was going to happen. So now there's been all kinds of different delays. It's not just one, and it's not just the city. Part of it was a delay until the end of the year because the seller didn't want to have the money on it last year. And, so there's been a lot of different things, but now it's square on the city just not getting us our permits. And so it's time to start fussing about that. So, but whatever. So, realistically now, I doubt that we'll be open by Christmas. We're trying to, like you said, we could say a new date every week, and we're just trying to not do that. Yep. It's just the nature. It's a big project, man. It's a 9,000 square foot restaurant. I mean, and it's completely gutted right now. So it's gonna be a big project even once we get started.
Right. I think we had talked a little bit about the cookers that you brought in, or the JR Oilers, and I think when you start looking at restaurants that have, I don't know if you want to call them traditional or authentic kind of pits in those restaurants. Certainly you have a faction that does it, I think, by oven, and they use liquid smoke. But then you have, when you get into more authentic people, you have obviously the pellet cookers, which seem to do really well. And then you have those JR Oiler styles. What made you decide that would be the cooker that was going to house the signature barbecue?
It was simply quality of food that we ate, because we ate in a lot of restaurants. I've been to a lot of them over the years, and Roger and Suzanne had as well. But we've gone to probably 50 restaurants in the last year and a half as part of this project, and the best food we ate, period, was cooked on the J&R Oilers, and with no bias. We didn't know. Eddie's my old friend, and I would have liked to have pellet cookers. The Old Hickories are as simple as can be. Flat out the best food we were eating. Now, maybe it was just that the best cooks were using them. I don't know, but that really was the decision, that flat out the best food we were eating was coming off them Oilers.
One of the other things that I saw here over the last couple of weeks that you were promoting, and I was anxious to talk to you about, luckily you have one under your belt from last weekend, is this new terrestrial radio show, Tailgate or something or other out there on the Bone. Talk to me about that. How does that get thrown on your lap?
Yeah, who knew I'd be on the Bone?
Yeah, right. Jeez, that sounds weird, I guess.
Tailgater University. It's funny. A guy approached me about it, a guy I had met, and he said, I was thinking about maybe putting some kind of, it originally started as we were going to do a 5-minute segment on Friday where we just did a recipe on one of the stations here in town, a sports talk or something, and do just a quick radio, tailgate recipe. And it evolved from there into Ian Beckles is a guy. Ian played 10 years for the Buccaneers, an offensive lineman. Was pretty good, solid journeyman guy, and then played for a couple other teams around the league. And he's been on sports talk radio here for about 10 years, and he's a Green Egg freak. So we've become friends, and So they were like, what do you think about Ian? And Ian was kind of in between stations. And I said, well, I don't know. We can give him a call and ask him if he's interested. He's my friend. He likes to cook. He certainly knows about sports. So by the time we got with Ian, the station that he was doing his own show on Sundays, they were looking for something else to do with Ian. So they got all excited about it. And so I just kind of got caught up in it. And it was a perfect opportunity. I mean, for me, all I got to do is basically talk about food. We'll pick a theme. Like last week, we talked about steaks. We were in this butcher shop marketplace, and we talked about steaks as just a loose theme for the day. And we had Joe Kahn on. You ever talk to Joe Kahn?
No.
The commissioner of tailgating. He's a real character. He rides around the country and goes tailgating and calls himself the commissioner. And that's kind of the whole shtick. He's just a good guy that goes out and parties with people. So he was our first guest, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I've always wanted to do a radio show. It's funny. I never went out of my way trying to, but from the time I was a kid, it was just something I always thought would be fun. And opportunity came up, and we'll see what happens with it. Doing local radio every Saturday is not really something on my short list because I travel so much. But I figured I'd give it a shot. We're going to go through 16 weeks, and then maybe we can turn it into something bigger. If we keep it a national themed kind of a thing. We're one of the big radio groups right now, and it's possible it could have some legs beyond that, but certainly a good time for now.
Right. Could you imagine that 16 weeks from now, you put in the effort here on the Saturday local show, and all of a sudden, Premier Radio Networks comes down the line and offers you a multi-year radio syndicate, countrywide syndicate, 300 different markets, and then the next phone call to you is like, dude, Rempe, what's your problem? I did this thing for 16 weeks, and I'm already nationally syndicated on the radio. I'd be like, what the hell? So,
I was trying to not mention that.
Oh, right? I see it coming like a Kenworth right down the middle of the road.
Radio show.
Unbelievable. So, do you enjoy it? I mean, I'll know you only have one under the belt. Certainly, you're not uncomfortable being on the other side of the chair where you're the one being interviewed, you're giving the expert advice, but when you're the one that actually has to be able to put sentences together for the hour and thoughts and segments and
what are you saying, Greg?
Nothing, but look, nobody knows better than me what it's like to have to sound like you have some command of the English language, talk with inflection, keep people's interest because they're just listening to you. They can't see you like most people on this show. They listen to me on podcasts. They don't see the video stuff here. I could kind of do without the video, to be honest. But being on the other side of the microphone, how does that catch you?
Well, I've always said this about you, and it's not just sucking up, but you do yours totally professionally. There's a whole lot of internet radio stuff like this that is not done professionally. You treat it that way, and I learned from that. But I'm lucky enough to have Ian Beckles and a radio station that has a producer there for us, and Ian has in fact been on doing a radio show for 10 years. So Ian basically, at this point anyway, we talked about it, we'll do all the intros and the outtakes and all that stuff. But I need to evolve, though, from not being. I've been on the radio, on Ian's show, 20 times in my life, and I got to evolve beyond being a guest. And we'll get there. I think I did pretty good. I think I got a ways to go. We also got a girl named Taylor that's a professional volleyball player, and she has a degree from Johnson and Wales, and she's like a 6 foot tall, hot blonde. So she can talk a little bit too. So it kind of mixes it up. But Ian is the anchor, the guy that really knows how to do a radio show. Without him, I'd be struggling for sure getting it going because what you do, you probably weren't that good at it in the beginning either. It takes all that radio stuff and the timing and try not to repeat yourself. I mean, I know how to be a good guest, like you said, but being a host is not something I've done before. But I think I'm pretty good at I know how to ask questions. I know what kind of questions people might want to think. I'm pretty good at putting the whole story together from doing TV. But the whole radio thing is definitely new to me. But again, I've got Ian, so I probably will never have to learn that.
Where do you find it if you're not local and can tune in, or if you can tune in and you're just not able to catch it for whatever reason? Can you get a podcast or a recorded archive?
I think there's going to be a recorded archive. I haven't found it yet. It wasn't up the other day. It might have just been because of the holiday weekend. I don't know when it'll get up, but I think it will. But if you can listen on Saturdays, they've got an app, The Bone. It's 102.5 The Bone I loaded the app the other day and I was just listening. It's real easy. It works real well for listening live. As far as the recorded one, whenever I find it, I'll put it up. I got to sort that out and figure out how to do that, because I'm sure that'll be an element of it. And we're gonna have recipes every week, and we've shot some videos, and we're gonna shoot some more with the recipes, and that stuff will be all up on a website. We'd like to develop some good content on a website. Like I said, I just can't really commit to 16 weeks of just sitting around 2 hours on a local radio show. But if we can turn it into something bigger. So, that's the good news, is that we need to turn it into something bigger. So the pressure's on us all to do it.
Ray Lampe joining me here on the show, as usual, in the first Tuesday segment. Let me talk to you about the American Royal that happened this past weekend. Honestly, Ray, I was surprised that there were only 400 or so teams at the Open. In my estimation, kind of a weak showing if you look back at years past when you had 600 teams or whatever it was, back in the old days. And I'm assuming, at least in my estimation, this is chalked up to the date being moved up 7 weeks earlier than it normally has gone off in years past. Do you think that caused some down attendance, in your opinion?
Well, the date is a killer for sure. But there's been, in the last 3 or 4 years, whatever it is, there's been 2 major venue changes, which are huge, and 2 date changes. You know what I mean? You can only move it around so much. And then Labor Day, I think, was the real backbreaker. Frankly, I was surprised they got 400. I was afraid it might be less than that. Unfortunately, as a guy who's been going to the American Royal since the early 90s, and what I saw, and granted, it's just video that you're seeing online, but it sure didn't seem to have the energy that it did back in the day. And I hope they can re-get that, because it really concerns me. I hate to see it, because I love the American Royal. It was the premier cook-off, and maybe it still is, but it certainly, they used to max out right around 600, and they were turning them away because they just didn't have room. And that's not the case anymore. I don't know how much room they have, but 400 that's still a huge contest, but man, it's not the same as it was. And I worry that it'll just go by the wayside or just become another contest, because I love the American Royal. I've always felt that was the premier contest. Because, Memphis in May, as much as I love Memphis in May and the Houston Livestock Show, not everybody can go there and cook. Well, the American Royal, everybody's welcome to cook there. And as far as the invitational end of it, they have room for everybody that wants to come. So it's different than any of the others. To me, if you wanted to be, say you beat everybody, the American Royal was the only place everybody was. And also the Hall of Fame thing, as much shout out to Melissa and Famous Dave and Jeff Staney, man, that's a stellar class. Are you even okay with that class?
Of course. Yeah, there's
okay. You're a little picky about it. I'm just
I was not. I'm not picky about the class, and I was less picky this year than years past, because they actually did away with the categories, which I was very happy to see.
That's a good move. Yeah, I was happy. Fast Eddie had a lot to do with that. Eddie pushed hard on that, and it was the right thing to do. I agree. But anyway, those are 3 stellar candidates.
Sure.
I love that. With 2 of them working with Smithfield, of course. Smithfield's doing everything, which I love, and so it makes me feel good about the future of the Hall of Fame. And of course, Famous Dave is Famous Dave and carries with him, Famous Daves. So I love that you hate to be like that, but the corporate backing is certainly something that's good for barbecue in general, but also the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame, I've been worried about it, that it was kind of not getting the love that it deserves. And I still am, but I think it had a big weekend. It seemed to get a lot of attention. Those 3 were all, social media was a big deal for those 3. And, you couldn't find 3 people that deserved to be there more than those 3. I thought that was a highlight of what I saw online from the American Royal. I was supposed to go because I wanted to go for those guys that were getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. And again, I love the American Royal, but I stayed home because of the radio show. And see, that's the kind of stuff I'm going to get tired of real fast if we don't really get something going with the radio show.
Yeah, the leash of Ray Lampe is now a radio show. Ray, do you
I'm
think...
scheduled to judge the Jack, and I'm thinking I might have to skip that. And, they're going to have to start paying me more than they are right now if I'm going to continue to cancel all that stuff.
Patch me in, and I'll be your fill-in co-host for that week. No problem.
I'll tell them. That's a good idea.
Yeah, sure. Do you think ever that there will be a brick-and-mortar barbecue Hall of Fame?
Yes. Oh, yeah, there will be for sure. I don't know when and where. My guess is it will move away from the American Royal. The American Royal, God bless them, it's a livestock show, man. That's what they're about.
Right.
They love the barbecue because it makes a lot of money and it's a lot of fun and it's very prestigious. But at the end of the day, those are livestock people. I don't know really why they got involved with the Barbecue Hall of Fame. Honestly, they approached Mike Tucker about it and took it all over and really haven't done, they haven't done much with it. I think it's going to start taking on a life of its own. I knew it would eventually. We kept putting good people in there. Eventually it was going to get a life of its own, and I think that's about to happen. Someday, somehow, there will be a brick and mortar Barbecue Hall of Fame. I have no doubt.
The first Tuesday of the month finds the good Dr. Ray Lampe visiting us here on the Barbecue Central Show, drbbq.com, his website. If you have a question you'd like us to bally around in an upcoming show, askdrbbq.com is the place to go for that. Ray, always appreciate the time. Please be safe. Do not rush back home, and we'll keep you on our thoughts, man.
Thanks, Ray. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Tell David Marks I'll help him when I get home.
I sure will. There he is, Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue. And he's a Florida guy right
the
there.
The Barbecue Central Show will appear via the Smithfield Hotline.
He is
yummy.
Dealing with it as, a whole state. Got a big one coming. Maybe the biggest one. We'll see. Let me talk to you about Big Papa Smokers, the one-stop online shop for all things barbecue. Their curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies will get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at BigPapaSmokers.com has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From award-winning rubs and sauces to the American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has everything you need to become a better outdoor cook. Whether you are in the backyard, like me, a barbecue fanatic, or a competition pro, BPS has something for you. Over the past few years, they have this thing called the West Coast Offense. Maybe you've heard of it. Cornered the market on competitive barbecue and redefined the flavor profile that cooks from across the country have begun to aim for. Big Papa Smokers has the online exclusive for Simply Marvelous Rub. Stop by their site, pick up some today. They also are the proud owner of the award-winning Granny's barbecue sauce. Looking for a new go-to barbecue sauce that will please everyone? Granny's traditional yet powerful flavors that remind us why we fell in love with barbecue in the first place. Find Granny's barbecue sauce and other top-rated sauces at BigPapaSmokers.com. And aside from their premium selection of rubs and sauces, Big Papa Smokers offers the very best pellet, charcoal, and wood cookers on the market today. You're looking for a versatile cooker that's easy to use? Check out the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Cooker. Big Papa's is the exclusive Mac dealer and even offers special packages. Not a fan of pellet cookers? Try the Old Hickory Ace BP. It's the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition barbecue trailer, and if you're a backyard barbecue enthusiast looking for a durable and versatile grill that will last forever, the M Grill from Texas is just what you need. They're built like tanks. Not sure what grill you need? You really can't go wrong with any of the grills or smokers featured at BigPapaSmokers.com. They have something for every kind of backyard cook. Check out their website today to shop their full selection. It's clear, folks, that Big Papa's is the place to go for all things barbecue. Every product featured on their website has been hand-selected to help you barbecue better. Boost your barbecue skills with the help of Big Papa Smokers, the #1 online barbecue store. You can call them toll-free at 877-828-0727 or shop their website at BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BigPapaSmokers.com. All right, we're back with the American Royal Invitational winner, Travis Clark, after this. Stick around.
Ready to get on the air? Call 216-220-0966. Now, let's get back to the LeBron James of barbecue talk. Greg Rempe.
This portion of the show being brought to you by Green Mountain Grills, manufacturers of some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. If you're looking for a big cooker to house a lot of food, they got one for you. Something medium-sized, they got you covered there too. Something to take on tailgates, because we're in tailgate season now, of course. They got you covered. They can supply you with pellets also to fire those cookers. And don't forget about the pizza inserts. Used it all weekend. Succulent pie. GreenMountainGrills.com is the place to go. GreenMountainGrills.com. All right, my next guest, the 2015 KCBS Team of the Year. They finished 5th place a year ago, but as we peer into the KCBS standings currently, they're sitting in the number 1 spot, and they have been for a number of weeks, if not months, in a row now. This past weekend, they too were at the American Royal this past weekend, grabbing a 38th overall in the Open, but before the day was over on the first day, they took down what many consider to be the championship to win during the course of the barbecue year, if not just your barbecue career, because of the talent pool that's invited. Here to recap the weekend and his current competition season, as time allows, we welcome back the pitmaster of the Clark Crew BBQ crew, Travis Clark, joining me on the show. Trav, how are you, man?
Man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. So let me ask you right off the rip here, Travis. You've won a lot of grand championships in your time in competition barbecue, which, by the way, hasn't been like decades and decades. Is this the biggest win to date for Clark Crew?
It is, in my opinion. I mean, that's the one when I got into barbecue before I ever did anything is the one I wanted to win.
I was going to say, I think I remember, it might have been a year or two ago when we were talking about how you got into it. You and your wife were just kind of walking around or running into a Johnny Trigg, running into a Rod Gray and saying, hey, this is something that looks pretty cool. Maybe I can get into this. And lo and behold, you're now taking it down.
It rung in my head from the very first day before we were in barbecue. They told me, I said, so what's going on? They said, well, today's the Open, anybody can cook. And they said, yesterday was the day. They said, that's the day it's champion of champions. And I thought, man, that's the deal. And from that day on, that's the one I've told everybody I always wanted to win. You know, there's a lot of special contests out there, but in my opinion, that's the only one that if you win a contest, you get the opportunity to cook in it. And that's no matter what sanctioning body you're in. And I mean, that's why it's always been special to me.
Travis, is there any way that you can compare a singular win like this to something like a Team of the Year that you won back in 2015, or are they just two completely different animals?
To me, it's two different things. I mean, I think, I don't know. I think anybody can win a contest, and I think it's a whole lot harder to win Team of the Year because it takes literally an entire year of dedication to do it. And I mean that. To this day, that's still the most special thing that I've ever done, but I don't think it matters to a lot of people like it does to the people that go after it. I think, it's crazy how many people will just blow you up and, oh my God, you won the roll. And I mean, it is awesome. But to me, the year-long dedication and putting your heart and soul into it all year long means more to me, but that could just be me too. But to me, it does. Did
you get more blow-ups over the weekend than you did when you took it down in 2015 for Team of the Year?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I'd look down at my phone and I'd have 120 messages, and I'd have 50, 60 text messages. It's like, holy cow! I mean, I don't even know how you keep up with it. And I mean, it is very cool. I mean, it was a dream of mine. It really, really, really was.
Travis,
and
go ahead.
To see Blaine do it the second day, man, that was very cool. Also,
Travis, this is an invite-only competition. All the other teams have been a grand champion in order to get there, along with you, of course. And there's always been this debate of which barbecue contest do you want to win, or shows the best versus the best, and you kind of just alluded to it a couple minutes ago. And obviously, you just freshly won it. It was one that you really wanted to win, but just to reestablish, this is the one, in your opinion, that you really think showcases the event to the best of its ability, that being the best of the best, and the winner can say, hey, I'm top dog this day.
I think both days you can say that. you know, and the Open's awesome because, you know, they get more things. You know, they get into the Houston, they get into the Jack, you know, automatically, which I never understood why the Invite don't. I mean, you know, you're cooking against the champion of champions, you know, but, you know, that's their rules. I don't care. But to me, if I had to pick, you know, I've told Darren and all them that. I said the Invitational is the one I want. I've always wanted it, you know. And I mean, that's just me, you know. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to win both days. Trust me. I cook to do it.
Travis, let's talk about the cook itself as we do as we start all these reveals as we look back. High level, you know, where did you think that your turn-ins were as it relates to your chance of winning?
You know, I thought my food was really good. And me and Kim talked in the trailer, and I said, what do you think of it? And she said it was really good. And I said, I think it's good enough to win. You know, we talked about it, and I said, you know, I'm not extremely happy with my ribs. I thought maybe I overcooked them just a tad. I said, you know, that would be my downfall. My burn-ins the first day, I don't know, they were good. I didn't like them the best, and I had some people cooking with me that weekend, and Kim and tried them, and they all just ranted and raved over them, how great they were. So we ran them. And the whole time I was sitting there thinking, man, I don't think they were perfect. You know, I just didn't think they were. And so I was kind of regretting that. But, I mean, they scored well. So maybe I was wrong, you know. But overall, we had good food, you know. And, you know, we've been cooking so many weeks in a row, Greg. I mean, it's just you get dialed in like that. I mean, I used to be running around with my head cut off thinking, all right, I need to do this and this. And now we've done it so much, we literally stood in the trailer, and I don't know how many times I asked her, I said, what am I forgetting? You know, I mean, it just felt like I was forgetting something. It was just going so smooth, you know.
You know, I remember talking to you when we were recapping that 2015 season, and you had said on any number of occasions you were doing it this way one weekend, and then you were changing kind of a lot on the next contest, and then you were changing again for the third time, and there was never any consistency. As you look back now, are you working that same program and not doing those kind of potentially major tweaks from a competition to competition, or you still fly by the seat?
Well, you know, if I still want to try something, I do it at a comp, but I always do the same thing. What I change is if I want to, you know, try something different on ribs, I do it on one rack and I'll run the other three exactly like I always do. Mm-hmm. I ran 2 points both days this weekend, and I did something a little different on one than I did the other. You know, I'll do that, but I'm always still running my tried and true. You know, but you know, when you're doing it every single week and you're working every single day, like it's a 7-day-a-week deal between my job and this, I don't have time to come home and fire up and do a practice cook. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, if I think, hey, you know, I need to try this, or Qualls or Wade or somebody says, hey, you know, you ought to try this. If I'm going to do it, you know, I'll do it. And I did that on chicken when I was struggling. You know, I'd cook a pan this way and I'd turn around and cook a pan this way. You know, I got 8 here and 8 here. You know, I'd try it there and see if I liked it. You know, to me, that's the only way I can do it. But
Travis, when you're getting your profiles down, do you work off of, let's call it lukewarm or cool food? In other words, you know, when the food's right off the cooker, flavors can be one way because the food's hot, right? But when the food cools, after you put it in the box, it might sit on the table for a little while before the judge ends up eating it. It can end up being a completely different flavor than it is when it's hot. How do you plan for that, or are you making your flavor profiles on that being cool food?
I try it both ways. You know, that's another one of those things, like I always try my ribs anymore. When you use the same exact knife cutting ribs, you pretty much know by the feel of it, you know, when them ribs are right. You know, so, I mean, I'll cut them ribs, and I've already pretty much know which rack's what. You know, I'll try one, I'll taste it, you know, and we'll say, all right, let's hit it with some cayenne. Let's hit it with some finished powder. Let's hit it with this, see what it does. If we like it, okay, then we'll make it and run it. But I always set back another rib, finish the same way. And, you know, like if Kim's with me, when she gets back, or if I run the box and I get back from running it, you know, I'll let it sit there and do it, and I'll move on into the next meet and try it, you know, 10 minutes later, about the time that I think a judge would be trying it, to see if my food died, you know, if it didn't have it, if it didn't hold on to the moisture, or it didn't hold that flavor, you know. So, I mean, I try it and generally spit it out, to be honest with you. I mean, I chew it, so yeah, it needs this, try it again, you know, whatever. spit it out, but then I'll set one over their side. 10 minutes later, we'll give it a try, to what I feel would be the same time a judge would be.
As the overalls are being called out, Travis, when RGC is awarded to Hogline at the Invitational, do you think at that point that you guys are in a position for the next call, or how does your mind kind of work with that?
Honestly, I mean, I knew our chicken was money. We got that 180 chicken.
Mm-hmm.
We was going through the categories, and I remember looking at Kim saying, I can't believe we're sitting on one call. I mean, I was sitting there, but I'm always that way. But I mean, I was sitting there thinking, there's just no way. I mean, I knew I was dialed in, and it got down to it. And even I was kind of thinking it there for a while with 1-2 barbecue sitting there with the first and fourth, and they hadn't called him. And when and I kept thinking, man, I got to be third, and they didn't call me. And they called somebody for second. I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. I was just sitting there thinking, man, I can't do no better than that. And then I honestly thought Steve probably had it. And when I was joking with Kim, telling her that we did, but we were just joking around. But I was very, very happily surprised. The whole time they was calling it, sitting there, I was just thinking in my head, be me, be me, be me. I don't know. It was amazing.
The other thing that I think is important to note here, Travis, is, Clark Crew wins with a 708 plus. Reserve is 706 plus, and you win by like 2.5 points. But if you scan the scores, the top 11 places are all at 700 points or more. Have you ever been in an event before that has had so many 700 or better scores? Hell, the score that was 20th place is good enough to win on most weekends across the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was. I mean, that was a lot more 700s than I thought there'd be. Going into that, I told Kim there'd be 6. There'd be 6 700s, and I told her somebody's probably going to score 710. I talked to a lot of judges that came out of there, and the judges that I know that'll talk to you truthfully, they don't fall into the spiel that they tell them, hey, be positive with the cooks. I want to talk to the judges that I know that are going to be straight.
Yeah.
And I asked them, I said, how was your food? And I talked to some of them that literally came out and told me, 120 contests, that's the best food I've ever ate.
Wow.
And I was like, shit. When I heard that, I told Kim, I was like, somebody's going to score 710. And she's like, you think? And I was like, oh, man. I mean, this guy's judged 120 times, the best food he's ever had. And I talked to 10 judges that told me the same thing. And they're like, I'm not kidding you. The food was dead on. It was perfect. It was great. We had one bad entry in brisket and one bad in rib. That's it. The whole day, everything else was amazing. And I'm thinking, holy crap. I told her 700 is what I thought going into awards.
Wow.
And,
but almost double that. Travis, we're going to be, we are hitting the beginning of September right now, and you guys are atop the points list for KCBS. Not by much, but of course, certainly on the top. And you've been there for a while now. Do you want to commit to run it out here on this show right now, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, I'm not quitting.
Oh, look at this guy. I knew it. I knew I could get you to say it. Love it.
I'm too deep in it. I had a goal that I shared with only my wife at the start of this year, and we hit that goal, and I'm not going to quit now.
Where are you going to be competing at next?
Where am I cooking at next?
Yeah.
I'm in Kansas City at my Sam's Club this weekend. Sam's Club, my local. So got a local, and if we move on in 2 weeks, we have a regional. So
how many?
We got to make top 6 first.
How many weeks in a row have you been cooking? If you add in this coming Saturday,
I don't know. We talked about that, and I think it's like 28.
28 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be some kind of Road Warrior award, but I don't think there is.
Yeah, I think it's called Broke.
Yeah.
Holy moly. Wow, 28 weeks in a row. It is an Iron Man on the phone with us right now. It's Travis Clark of the Clark Crew BBQ, and they are your 2017 American Royal Invitational champions. Well, one for the ages, and he said it right here on the Barbecue Central show. He's in it for the long haul.
I think you're going to see. I really believe that we maxed out the point system in August, and I still believe that I truly believe Tim's going to max it out. Also, I really do.
We'll be on the lookout, Trav. As always, I appreciate the time and good luck. And congratulations on a huge win, man. That's great.
Hey, thank you, Greg.
You got it? There he is. Travis Clark. Clark Crew BBQ team. Oh, my. 28 weeks in a row. Let me see how the hell I can do this. Hold on. For weeks, I must say. Perhaps even months. I've done nothing but belabor the point of how when I shoot to my guest screen, nobody is there. Well, looky here. He made it. Desmond's in. Say hey.
What's up, people?
Oh, man, you are live. Can you hear yourself in the headphones now? You got it?
I'm good.
Is it too loud?
No. We're
good. All right. 28 weeks in a row, Desmond. Are you ready to get on the barbecue circuit and cook more than half a year straight?
Yes.
You got to talk into the microphone, pal. I know it's been a couple months that you've been in there. Get your sexy face up there on that microphone. Let's have a conversation. 28 weeks in a row.
28?
I think we might have a few less wives. Well, you know.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to do a piece of business here. I can't believe you showed up. You're like, look for me around 9:30, and I'm like, yeah, right. Can't wait.
Here I am.
Can't wait to cut to the screen on that one. Let me get you a vision of where we're at here. Projector. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there it is. Can you see yourself now?
Yes, I can.
All right, good. Got it working. All right, stand by. I'm going to talk to you about the pit barrel cooker. It's one of your favorite cookers, right, Dustin?
The most favorite that I use. That and the Langley. You know that those ribs turned out really good on the Langley the other day.
All right, so look, pulling the trigger on a new cooker can be nerve-wracking sometimes. We're not going to lie about it. What woods to buy? Who needs the hassle? Temperature control, fire management, blah, blah, blah. But I strongly suggest a pit barrel cooker. The pit barrel makes cooking simple and fun, and it just might be the most unique, versatile, and easy-to-use cooker available on the market today. Imagine a single cooker that can do the great traditional barbecue meats, but also can ramp up in temp to do burgers, chicken wings, hot dogs, you name it. Versatility, all thanks to a revolutionary design that goes beyond traditional convection. Their hook and hang method places the food in the center of the heat, so it's acting like a stationary rotisserie. Result, great tasting, perfectly cooked meat each and every time. Of course, that's consistency. Not only is the pit barrel a fabulous cooking vessel, it's aesthetically sexy as well. Built to withstand heat thanks to its porcelain enamel finish, the pit barrel is able to withstand any type of weather. Also extremely portable. Fits in the back of most trucks, vans, and SUVs, so it's ready to go wherever you are. Of course, all barbecue folks love accessories. We love accessories, right, Desmond?
Absolutely.
What are you doing over there?
Sorry, I had a Jello shot.
There you go. Removable ash pans, pit grips, turkey hangers, hinged grill grates, cut-to-size charcoal chimneys, coffee mugs, beer koozies. They have a full line of accoutrements that will really complete your pit barrel experience. Here's the best part. $299. This thing comes fully assembled, ready to cook on, ships for free. Not only does the cooker ship for free, but everything they sell ships free to lower 48 because they have so few returns. Don't take my word for it. AmazingRibs.com has given them their highest rating 4 years in a row. Head on over to pitbarrelcooker.com, see what everybody's talking about, or call them 502-228-1222. That's 502-228-1222. Yes, they will actually talk to you. Find out what great customer service is all about. It's the Pit Barrel Cooker. All right, we're back to wrap the first hour very quickly. Desmond is in the house. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
I gotta figure out. Before I figure that out, let me tell you that this segment of the show is being brought to you by cookingpellets.com, your number one source for wood pellets. So, you can visit cookingpellets.com. Trying to add a friggin' camera over here. Oh, Lord. Do I have one? just a different background. Visit cookinpellets.com. That's cookinpellets.com for all of your pellet needs. Just trying to add a camera here, Desmond. I mean, how hard could it be?
It's working.
No, I need to add a camera. Where are they? Damn it. Devices. Yeah, here we go. Video. 922. Boom. There's me. Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, really?
Nah. Yeah.
I don't do that.
Hold on. Got to do this. I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
Hold me, Desmond.
You look like my conscience.
I know. Right here.
Telling me what not to do.
Do it.
Really?
Run away.
I should have another beer?
It's hot.
Absolutely.
It's hot in here.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
I know. You're sweating.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I am overweight, so.
We're going to step away and reload for the second hour. I'm going to figure out how I can get a better camera shot of me and Desmond. And you will be here to enjoy the second hour. So stick around. We'll be right back.
This is Bobby. And this is Jennifer. And we're from Cleveland, Ohio. And you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing. We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine. How's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle. Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet or wiener.
Oh, listen, Liberty, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. It was weird like this, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, you think it's weird?
I mean, we're just floating in the air. Hold on.
But it looks like we're talking to each other.
I know. Let's take it down a level.
That's better.
Better?
Yeah, that works. Okay. What do you think?
I like it. High five. Hit me. What happened to your hand? Oh, wait. It's camera tricks.
No.
Very creepy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very creepy here. So, I'm here.
It's been a while.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so here's what you need to know. You found the Barbecue Central show. Congratulations. You've done it. And obviously, Desmond is in. Finally, he said, how many times did you say you were going to be here and you just never were here? Never.
I do a lot of drinking. So.
Well, the good news is all the times you didn't come, you didn't have to suffer through this incessant, oppressive heat.
I don't know. It's pretty hot in there today.
Today? It's not even hot outside. Can you imagine how hot it is? Oh,
whoa, what the hell?
Just make
off my lap.
I'm trying to be a little bit more comparable in size. There we go. I'm the host. I got to look big.
I'm not.
Camera tricks, buddy. Camera tricks.
Yeah, you're the one pointing the clicker.
Yeah. So the thing that I didn't realize when I was building the studio, as you are so keenly aware of at this moment, is that when it's hot out, it's hot in here because there's no ventilation except for that stupid window that does nothing. It's barely bringing down some moderately lukewarm air on me, so I'm not in a full-out flop sweat.
I think we need to get the Mitsubishi in here.
What's a Mitsubishi?
The make it aesthetically so people can see. The wall unit?
Like a wall air conditioner?
Yeah.
You want me to get one of those?
Why not?
I don't know. It would be loud. I can hear that fan when you're talking. I can hear the fan.
No. It's very silent.
Yeah. Does it mount in the studio?
Yeah, you can mount it against the wall.
What?
Hell, we can anchor it from the ceiling.
Dude, you know I'm no handyman.
I will.
You know I'm not.
Just point and tell me where you want it to go.
All right, that's probably. Oh, jeez.
What happened?
Nothing. I got it. John Dawson weighing in from last segment. Remps, huge props to Travis and the crew, but I don't want to do anything for 28 weeks. No, not even that. You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I knew it. I can see that laugh. You know what I'm talking
about. Oh, whatever.
Hey, I don't know if you knew it or not, Desmond, but the National Pro Barbecue Tour presented by Sam's Club rolled into Traverse City, Michigan this past weekend.
Oh, really?
This was a local event that sends the top 6 teams to the Madison, Wisconsin regional final. Those teams moving on are, yes, first, IBQing at the BBQSuperstore.com with a 688.5. Richard Parker and the gang out there. Reserve grand champion or second place to the common folk. Mac Attack Barbecue. Oh, yeah. Third place, Firehouse Smoke. Fourth place, Victory Smokers. Fifth place, Smoke Till You're Broke. Sixth place, Smokin' Hoosiers Barbecue LLC. That might be a restaurant. Now, here's a point of note. I was talking to Travis, as you heard at the end, saying how many plus 700 scores there were at the American Royal Invitational. There was like 11, but I also said that even like the 20th place score would be good enough to win most competitions during the course of a weekend. Point of note, the 20th place team would have won this Traverse City, Michigan. Yeah, it was, the scores were completely outstanding. So, John Dawson, P.S., Dez is the man. Look at you getting call-outs from Boise, Idaho. Don't say Boise. They hate that. Boise.
Idaho in the building. What's happening?
Yeah, there it is.
Thanks for the love.
So the next National Pro Barbecue Tour event that will take place is this coming weekend in Kansas City, Missouri. So we say good luck to everybody competing. Top 6 move on. That's where Travis Clark from Clark Crew is going to be competing this coming weekend, as he had just mentioned. So how about that? Love it. All right, Desmond, what are your thoughts on these natural disasters that are happening? Is this a sign that we are at, my favorite saying, end of days? Are we just on a bit of an unlucky streak? I mean, the one that's shaping up for Florida is going to be unbelievable. Harvey was unbelievable, so if you can get more unbelievable than that, this has to be what's happening.
Irma's
south and east of Florida.
Well, they're telling people to evacuate from the Keys in Miami.
I saw a track today, hours before we went on the show, and man, oh man, I have to tell you, it looked like it was engulfing the whole state, starting right where Miami would be, and just like opened up.
But how it looked, I was looking at it. It looked bigger than Ohio.
Yeah, it's a huge storm.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
Wow, it's an unbelievable situation. So we again want to say first and foremost, be safe first. Leave.
Please follow the directions.
Don't worry about your
home. If you are told to evacuate, please evacuate.
And do it early. Like, don't be, as I have said in the first hour, don't be caught in rush hour evacuation traffic.
No.
If you know you're going to get asked to evacuate
3 days prior.
Jump the gun. Take a leisurely stroll up way north. Like, don't go 2 hours up the road. Get out. Because we're going to get that rain on Saturday or like a week from now.
Well, we got it the other day.
Right.
It was part of Harvey.
Was it?
Yes.
This could be bad.
This is some old Hurricane Sandy shit.
Yeah. So now, if you're looking to donate and help, both what's happening in Texas still, or obviously what is going to happen, is there any way it's not going to happen? Could there be like a rock in the ocean that just kicks this thing off into a completely unanticipated direction and it doesn't hit, or no?
the way the momentum is taking shape, there's no stopping that.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't look great.
It's not good. So our prayers are out to those people down there.
OperationBarbecueRelief.org is a place you want to go and make donations. They're going to show up after the weather event hits to start feeding either people that have been displaced or the first responders or both. That's what they've been doing down in Texas here for the last almost 2 weeks. We're going to be talking with David Marks from Operation Barbecue Relief next segment and seeing what's happening down there and then how they might be gearing up here for Florida. In the instant chat, Desmond, you would know Dave Bosca. Who's Dave Bosca? Let's have a quiz right here for Desmond Motley in the hot seat. Dave Bosca is the creator of what products? Let's see.
Can I phone a friend? I mean, you are using the music.
I'm right here.
Well, give me the answer.
I mean, come on.
Really, Greg? Really?
You know?
Pit-Barrel. Answer Pit-Barrel.
No. Don't answer. Don't lock that in yet.
Okay, I'm not going to lock it in. Eureka.
Do you have an answer?
Butcher's Barbecue.
Final answer?
I'm sticking with it.
All right. For all the marbles, $750,000 and a luxury Lamborghini. You're right. Butcher's Barbecue. ButcherBBQ.com. Oh, man. Well, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Desmond Motley goes home a winner with $750,000 cash and a luxury Lamborghini. From everybody here at Trivia Barbecue, we say adieu.
See ya.
All right, not really.
No, okay, we're still here.
I was going to say hint your favorite sauce. Favorite sauce, the grilling oil, of course, the honey rub.
Oil, the honey rub. God, the wild cherry.
Now, before I get off, the private, the triple secret, triple X blend.
Love that shit.
He wants to know, Greg, how about a pizza bet for this weekend's game, OSU versus OU? Do you think Ohio State will beat Oklahoma, Desmond? Yes, sir?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, we're in on that bet. Pizza bet.
Well, yeah, definitely. I'll definitely take my chances with that one.
Point of note, Dave Bosca, Desmond and I like our pizza topped with 24-karat gold pepperonis. So it might be a little expensive if you lose. You just tell us what you like, and hey, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But we're in on that bet.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Hey, Desmond, guess what cool product that I like a lot?
What's that?
The Chops Power Injector System.
Oh, really?
The 2015, 2016, 2017 Barbecue Tool of the Year, coming in 3 awesome sizes. Of course, you know the one that I have. It's the half-gallon Chops Power Injector designed for competition guys or to pump up the backyard guys like you and me. Easy to use, right? Clean it, fill it, pump it. Away you go. If you have just one brisket or pork shoulder to do, you don't need to fill it all the way up. Just put in what you need. It uses it all. It comes with a 14-gauge needle, 2 replacement plastic needle adapters, a whole bunch of other stuff. $100 plus you pay shipping. Then you have the 1-gallon Chops Power Injector System. Same thing as the half-gallon, except holds double the amount. That's why they call it the 1-gallon.
Uh-oh.
Whole bunch of cool stuff with this one, $220 plus you pay the shipping. Then you have the Chops Full Power Injector System. Check this out. It's electric. It is the commercial and competition Big Daddy. Not a holding tank this time, Desmond. Not a holding tank. A 3.5-foot pickup tube that you can put in any size container. From a few ounces to a 55-gallon drum, it was designed for Chef Rob at the best barbecue restaurant in Kansas City. He has said time and time again that with the Chops Full Power Injector System, his briskets are better than ever. It comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff like the other two. $325 plus you pay shipping. A number of the top pitmasters in the world and across the street from you use the Chops Power Injector System when they barbecue. here's the deal. We live in a foodie world. You
Absolutely.
need flavor in every bite. This is how you can do it and do it fast. And it's not just for meat. Not that I would partake in this anymore, but how about alcohol-infused watermelon? I mean, you might like it. I can't like it. Every injector hand-assembled in Kansas City, Missouri, USA. If you want extra accessories, they got them. Here's my suggestion. Head on over to barbecuekansascity.com. That's BARBEQUE. barbecuekansascity.com and check out what they got to offer. It's the Chas Power Injector System. And we are back with David Marks from Operation Barbecue Relief to check in on Texas and take a look ahead at potentially Florida. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Smithfield. Smithfield has partnered with the ultimate names in grilling. To bring you amazing prizes, all you have to do is get grilling. Just grill, share, and score at smithfieldgetgrilling.com. Now, you might be asking yourself, what could I win? How about $5,000, Polly? Yeah, you could use $5,000, right, Desmond? Sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, my first guest of the second hour, a competitive barbecue pitmaster for Wilbur's Revenge. He's also a owner of Pitmaster LLC, which is a franchisee of Famous Dave's Barbecue, and the CMO and board member for Operation Barbecue Relief. Look, it comes as no news that Hurricane Harvey caused an incredible amount of damage to both property and people alike in Texas. Operation Barbecue Relief has been down in the most heavily affected areas, serving meals to the first responders as well as others. And here to give us a briefing on those operations is none other than friend of the show, David Marks. David, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How's it going over there?
Absolutely fabulous here in Cleveland. David, say hello to Desmond Motley, my neighbor. Desmond, this is David.
Desmond, what's happening, man? I almost stopped by and visited you guys yesterday, driving back from the Royal.
You drove past Cleveland?
Well, you know...
90, right?
70, but I figured I could have gone up and taken a visit, it was close.
All I have to say is you missed quite the barbecue extravaganza here in the backyard Casa de Rempe.
We partied hard.
I bet.
Oh, it was something else. So, all right, so let's talk about Operation Barbecue Relief, specifically what's happening out there in Texas right now, and if you could, give us that high-level look at when you see a storm coming. Obviously, we can get into Florida here in a second as well, but as you saw Harvey happening, what are the pieces that start to get moving before something happens, and then after the weather event takes place, how do you actually mobilize? Where do you decide to go, and what services are you rendering once you get on site?
Absolutely. So, clearly things like tornadoes and those kind of things are really hard to figure out what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, even though the weather forecasters are getting better at that. But hurricanes, we really have a good idea what's happening. So about 5 days out, we started moving resources, smokers. We started calling some of our vendor partners, specifically like Seaboard and Blue Rhino, and really started moving things where they were safe, but and accessible for us. Obviously, also with the American Royal, we have our Pig-a-Palooza party, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year. And we actually had to start splitting off people, kind of figuring out who's going to go down to Texas and who's going to stay back and handle the fundraiser. So we had a lot of moving parts kind of leading up. We started loading up the warehouse on Sunday and or Saturday and Sunday, and then left Sunday for Texas. for the folks out of Kansas City as well as the folks out of like Memphis and Louisiana. So a lot of moving parts, big parts moving. We actually got staged kind of outside of Houston, between Austin and Houston, and we're just hanging, waiting for kind of roads to open up and where we could go. We were contacted by the mayor's office in Houston and worked directly with the mayor's office and the police department for logistics and where they would like us set up and how they wanted us to help. Things were pretty interesting as we were sitting outside. This hotel that Stan Hayes had pulled up to literally had no food. Wow. So our first deployment within that deployment was during staging, where Stan fed like a couple hundred people staying at a hotel with no food. Pretty amazing in its own right. We moved into Houston and started ramping up in meals. I think the first day was about 15,000 meals. Within a couple days, we were serving 45,000 meals, give or take,
a day?
Every day for the last several days. It's been really amazing. 247,585 meals through tonight. We broke our single day record 3 times in a row in the number of meals we served. And yesterday, I don't know if anybody saw this on Facebook, but the United States government worked with us and we airlifted food. They gave us police escort to Houston Hobby. We delivered food to a U.S. Customs Chinook helicopter, and they airlifted food to Beaumont, Texas.
No way.
It was unbelievable.
It's awesome.
So what is the, I think we just kind of washed over that with all the cool stuff that you were saying. What's the total number of meals, current count?
7 days, 247,585 meals.
Holy moly. So
unbelievable.
I was listening to the Rub podcast, and they were talking about Operation Barbecue Relief and some of the things that are going on. And one of the hosts, Jimmy Shotwell, was like, it's not a cookie and a bag of chips that you're getting. This is like substantial food. What are you serving?
We're serving pulled pork sandwiches, pork loin sandwiches, quarter chickens. From a protein standpoint, we're serving turkey, same thing, quarter pound, third pound turkey, 2 sides and bread. And companies like Hostess and companies like they've been shipping in tractor trailer loads of buns. 50,000 buns at a time. I mean, I haven't been on site. I've seen pictures of the site. I actually was kind of planning to go to the site, but looks like I'm going to head down to Florida. But I mean, we've got 3 refrigerated tractor trailers on site, several regular 18-wheelers just filled with food. We have, thank you, David Knight and Old Hickory. We have 11 ELEDXs on site cooking round the clock.
How many people are physically down there with all the labor and making sure that all these meals are getting turned out?
We've been knocking that out with approximately 100 volunteers every day.
That's it?
That's it, man.
Wow. It's unbelievable.
It's been great. And, I don't know if any of the folks who are listening and watch the show have ever been on deployment. Actually, I know several who have, but it is just one of the most heartwarming, hits you in your soul until you've done something for someone that you'll never know, that you'll never have a chance to meet, that'll never have a chance to thank you. You have no idea what it's like to volunteer.
And again, these are for displaced, for first responders, and because of the devastation that's out there, you're just not able to eat. I mean, it sounds like it is third world or just something completely crazy, but when something like this gets into your part of town and wipes you out, the most basic essentials really aren't available anymore.
Not available. I was talking to some friends in Florida today, and there's literally fights breaking out over water, bread, and propane in a state that hasn't even had a disaster yet.
Yeah, it's not good. So do you have an anticipated pull-out time of Texas, or do you just kind of monitor as an ongoing day-by-day, week-by-week basis?
So we definitely have an anticipated pullout time at this point in time. The mayor and the city has given us Our wind down orders, we'll have put in 2 full weeks there, and they kind of need their municipal parking lot back so they can get back to their new normal. We've been in a municipal parking lot that they've set aside for us, and we've got several more days. Come next week, we will no longer be there, and we'll have fulfilled more than anyone ever anticipated.
So let's talk about, very bluntly, what Operation Barbecue Relief from today looking forward needs from people that either want or are looking to help this organization.
Greg, it's a great question. We're going to go blunt, so I'm going to be blunt. The simplest of simple is cash.
Yeah.
We have a tremendous amount of people offering up. I've got a Weber grill. My wife gave me enough money to get 4 pork butts. Where can I go? And I don't mean to say that lightly or jokingly, but the truth of the matter is when you've got smokers with the capacity to do 1,500 pounds of meat at a time, we really need the capabilities to load those things and do the most for most people in need. So, really, your $10, $20 donation, really, we can take that from our purchasing power and we can put that to a better use and a better good. We also know what we have coming in from companies like Seaboard, from companies like Butterball, from companies that are donating, number 10 cans aside. So we can fill in the areas that we're light on. And that is really, just from a blunt standpoint, especially where we're at right now, moving from one mega disaster to potentially a second mega disaster. Anybody wants to volunteer their time, we're definitely going to need some time. Anybody wants to volunteer money, we need that money. And the other thing is share our posts on social media, help us get to as many people as possible.
OperationBBQRelief.org is the place to go. Click on the red donate button and away you go. Very simple to do. We obviously encourage you to do it early and often. And I've heard it's for $1, you basically are being able to provide a meal. Is that about right?
That's about right. It's a touch misleading, but it's about right. When you combine what we're getting in from donations in kind from these massive companies, the dollar fills in that gap. Generally, we're feeding people for about $2.30, give or take a few cents. But that dollar meal fills in the gap of what we're unable to get donated. So, yes.
That's Texas. We have mentioned it a bunch of times already on the show. There is an incredible, it sounds weird to say that there's an incredible storm that's off the coast of Florida right now after there was one ripping through Texas here a couple weeks ago. This one looks like it could be even worse. It is on track to do an incredible amount of damage. State of emergency already in Florida. People probably being told to leave already, and we're
mandatory
days and days.
Evacuations in the Keys. Mandatory evacuations.
So depending on how it hits, I've seen tracks that will absolutely boggle the mind here. So where are you guys looking at that and planning and all that?
So right now we are staging. We have 8 commercial, Old Hickory ELDXs kind of in the center of the state of Florida right now, ready for deployment. We have companies like Blue Rhino who, fuel our smokers in disasters, who have already committed to making sure that we have availability to propane no matter where we're at. They're going to make sure we have that. I actually got off an executive call this evening where we were kind of staging the products in Texas and what we're going to have left over based upon our what we're going to do in meal commitment through the weekend. We're going to start moving food towards Florida, not in Florida, but towards Florida, while there's still so much uncertainty. While I agree with you, Greg, it's going to be pretty ugly.
Yeah.
So we definitely have a lot of resources there. And we've been working Florida and Florida volunteers for a long time, knowing that they haven't had a great disaster and literally teed up out there in the middle of the Atlantic and the Gulf, just sitting there waiting for that perfect storm to come. And for like 12 years, they haven't had one, but it's coming.
We're talking with the Chief Marketing Officer, David Marks, Operation Barbecue Relief. David, not to switch gears too abruptly here, but you were just talking about being out at the Royal this past weekend. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the weekend itself, and especially from the open side. I was talking with Ray Lampe first hour, and he was pretty disappointed with the turnout of 400 teams, and we were pontificating that, obviously the date change probably played a big role where you have basically a 7-week advance of that tournament than you're used to. And other teams are like, oh, geez, well, usually I'm cooking X or Y or Z contest. And they feel bad about leaving that to do the Royal because that might hurt a contest. And that whole conversation takes place both internally and amongst other circles that compete. What did you think about the Open itself and the teams where usually we're saying 600 plus teams at an American Royal Open versus, just around 400 or so?
So, it definitely had a little bit different feel this past weekend. Obviously, I don't even think it's as much the advancement of the several weeks as it's just being Memorial Day weekend. So many people have commitments with family that it's just tough to go. And it was hard for me to leave my family back for the weekend. At the end of the day, I will tell you on Friday night, during the Pigapalooza party, which we knew it was going to be light. We were still had this amazing party, and we definitely were lighter than we normally were, but we knew it was going to be lighter. We scaled back. Our party is, it's a party with a purpose. We're raising funds for Operation Barbecue Relief. I did have to go over to Seaboard for a check presentation, so I had to walk across basically the other side of the racetrack, and it was really kind of eerie to see how lightly attended the whole night was. I'm not going to make any bones about it. It was definitely weird. Having been there for many years, to see, just usually you're getting bumped into, you're getting spilt beer on. Nobody's really drinking beer. It must be something else, but it's really tough. But it was definitely eerily quiet.
Let me ask you a quick question related to donations here from Doug Scheiding. David, when you donate to OBR, are you supposed to get a donation receipt via email?
So if that's something you need, reach out to us. I'll definitely take care of that. There's no problem. If you need a receipt, we generally do not send receipts for less than $250. But if you do need a receipt, it is no problem.
Final question, and I appreciate the time tonight, David. Your friend, colleague, business colleague, Dave Anderson was inducted into this year's Hall of Fame class along with Melissa Cookson and Jeff Staney. Your thoughts on famous Dave getting inducted?
Honestly, as you know, Dave's my barbecue mentor, and I've had the great fortune to have had so many doors open for me by Dave, to meet so many people, to have a guy like Dave work with me on, even like back in the early days when I was struggling with brisket, I need some help, and he helped me developing barbecue sauces. Personally, I cook with Dave on smoked. Just the opportunities that Dave's afforded me alone from a competitive standpoint, let alone a business standpoint. I don't think that there's anyone out there that has ever been more deserving of being in the American Royal and what he's done for barbecue over his 22 years involved in Famous Dave's, and even longer than that in the barbecue world. I think he's one of the most deserving people to ever enter, and there's been a tremendous amount of deserving people. So I think everybody's in there deserves it, and I'm really proud of Dave. I think it's been overdue.
From a competition side, David, do you have any plans to be out competing anytime soon, or you got to see how everything rolls out here with the weather?
Well, let's be honest. I had my worst showing at the American Royal I've ever had, so I probably need to do a little bit of licking of my own wounds. I finished 267th, I think. Prior to that, my worst finish was 54th. Wow. So I'm a little bit bitter. Party of one. But honestly, yes, I am definitely going to have to take a break a little bit. I do have the Pennsylvania State Championships in October, and that's the only thing on my schedule the rest of the year right now.
David Marks is the Chief Marketing Officer for Operation Barbecue Relief. That's really what we're talking about this evening. So if you feel the need to help out Operation Barbecue Relief, hit the website, operationbbqrelief.org, and hit the red donate button and go from there. David, can't appreciate the time enough that you've given to the show. Good luck, and if you ever need this show for anything, please feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to help.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it very much, Greg. You're the man.
There he is, David Marks, Operation Barbecue Relief. What do you think about that?
I didn't know it existed.
You didn't?
I did not.
204, almost 250,000 meals.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you know what?
20
I mean,
plus thousand a day.
You know, organizations like that, they really touch base with a lot of people just based on what they really do. To have 100 volunteers daily, to feed,
that's a big deal.
That's huge, So I definitely will be donating myself later. So.
All right, so here we go. We're lining up for the last interview of the evening, which is the American Royal Open winner. That's Blaine Hunter. So we're going to get to him here in just a minute. But again, if you have any extra cash laying around, and as David said, a lot of people want to bring down a grill or bring down some of their own food that hasn't been cooked just to kind of donate. But to be completely blunt, the cash is the best. They have a tremendous amount of buying power because of the partners. So go to operationbbqrelief.org and put in a donation. And they will take that money and, in turn, serve the people that will need it the most. And with the one coming up, there could be a lot of people needing it, without a doubt. All right, Blaine Hunter coming up next. Let me talk to you quickly. Hey, Desmond.
Yo.
Who's Dave Bosker?
Butcher's Barbecue.
Damn right. Grilling season is officially open for business, if you didn't know. As some might say that after yesterday, it's closed for business. Not us.
Absolutely not.
Not us. We certainly know that Butcher's carries a great selection of barbecue products, but their portfolio of grilling products continues to grow by leaps and bounds. You've heard me talk about the grilling oils for a while now, and I really believe these products kind of changing the way people will cook. These items, shelf-stable, don't require refrigeration like a lot of other butters or whatever else you might use requires. These grilling oils, all you need to do, leave them out by the stove, take them out to the grill, use as needed. If you need a butter kick, use butter flavor. If you want Chipotle or a steakhouse kick, they have those flavors as well. Here's how I use them. The flavors aren't aggressive, so you can build layers of flavor as you flip. Then, when I take the steak or burger, whatever protein off, I just hit it with a little thin line of that grilling oil before putting it on the table. I'm telling you, it is perfection. And again, because they are shelf-stable, never out of sight, out of mind. That's the worst. You open a bottle because it's in the cabinet, but then after you open it, little line at the bottom of the jar says refrigerate after opening. Then it goes in the refrigerator. And then guess what? You forget about it because it's out of sight, out of mind. Oh, that's the worst. Not this stuff. It just can hang out, so you never forget about it. Now, never resting on his laurels, Dave in the Flavor Lab coming up with the newest items. Grilling Addiction Seasoning is out right now. I'm using it on a lot of stuff and loving it. So do the girls. That's always a barometer. Do the girls like? Girls like the Grilling Addiction Seasoning. That's available for sale at butcherbbq.com. And of course, dealers want it. If you own a barbecue and grilling supply store and you don't carry Butcher's lineup, what are you waiting for? Hit up butcherbbq.com, request information on how to become a dealer. Get with them today. Not only will Dave thank you, but your customers are going to reap the rewards by getting these fine products in their hands to try for themselves. These products are extensively tested in both backyards and on the competition trail. You know they're going to deliver the goods. Head on over to butcherbbq.com right now and check out all the products. You'll be happy that you did. butcherbbq.com, Butcher's Barbecue. Always trust your butcher. Desmond, if I moved away and I never saw you again, would you buy Butcher's Barbecue products?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So good.
The wild cherry is,
that's your favorite.
No, that's the wife's favorite.
Oh, right.
I like the private
blend.
Absolutely. It's
private
just
stock.
Private stock. It's just
love.
Just a wonderful blend, a great medley of different spices.
All right.
Continuing to
Here we go.
produce incredibly mediocre content
Next interview.
in an
Pardon me.
exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Lampe.
Desmond Motley is in studio right there. This segment is brought to you by the National Pro Barbecue Tour presented by Sam's Club. 31 cities, $500,000 in cash. Eternal bragging rights. If you win the whole thing this weekend, the 2017 Pro Barbecue Tour rolls into Kansas City, Missouri, USA for a local qualifying event. To get more information or to check tour dates and results, check out kcbs.us/Sam's Tour. Helping me close the show tonight, your current KCBS Team of the Year, currently 12th in the points race for this season. They finished 31st at this weekend's American Royal Invitational, then turned around the next day, won the American Royal Open Grand Championship. Here to recap an incredibly successful weekend as well as the state of his competition season thus far is the pitmaster of Porky Butts Barbecue, Blaine Hunter, joining me on the show this evening. Blaine, how are you, buddy?
Great, sir. How are you?
Absolutely fabulous, Blaine. Appreciate you making time for the show. Blaine, meet Desmond, my neighbor, sitting in on the show. Desmond, this is Blaine. He is an American Royal Grand Champion. Give him his just due.
Congratulations. You've earned it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Blaine, first off, as I just said, congratulations to you, Eric, the rest of the team on the big win. And, we'll get into that here in a second. But let's take a quick look back at the day before at the Invitational. Again, great finish, 31 out of 120-plus teams. And when it's all said and done, due to the size of the event the next day, which you are now in go mode for, can you not look at the results that you had at the Invitational and tweak for the Open, or are you literally just cooking the same exact program, literally 24 hours later, just hoping for a better result this time around?
Yeah, the first day the second day we ran the exact same program as the first, minus I wasn't as focused the first day. I had a little too much fun. I think Scott Key of Little Pigtown may have got the best of me.
He's the worst.
And I was just kind of living in the moment, having some fun, maybe too much. And my results definitely suffered because of it.
This is a tough question. This is a tough question to ask. You want to go on it. This is the American Royal. So it's going to be a 2-day event. You got the Invitational. You got the Open. But you want to have a little fun, too. And I kind of asked this question differently to some pitmasters. But has it almost gotten to a point now with the amount of financial investment that you have to make in fees and meets and travel expense and all this other stuff that you really can't even afford anymore to blow off a little steam without potentially having it affect you negatively in the competition? It never used to be like that.
Yeah, I look at it as I got into this to have fun, and I got into it as a hobby. Regardless of the price, regardless of everything, if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to go out there and do it week to week. It was an expensive fun day, but I had fun.
So you're cooking.
That's what it's all about for me.
You're just cooking the same exact program, except you're a little bit more dialed in. Was the concentration just off, or were you missing some marks on the Invitational side?
Yeah, I missed a few, but it wasn't more the marks. It was more, I was talking to this person and kind of being a little too much of a social butterfly, walking around and not paying attention to my cook, and I may have missed a couple attempts, and we were a little sloppy unboxing, and I just, day 2 I got to my program, I turned the music on, I danced, I stayed on my porch, I didn't leave my pit, and we were dialed in, and it was probably the best cook we've ever had.
Is there a different mindset at all, Blaine, when you and the team go from an Invitational mindset to getting into an Open situation where the field is so deep, 400-plus teams, or is it the same no matter what, whether it's 5 teams or 5,000 teams?
No, I go in with the same mindset every time. Just go and have fun, stay loose, and, pay attention to the cook and do what you do. You kind of have a program, you stick to the program, you should be fine no matter if there's 5 teams or 5,000. Because, at the end of the day, we're just trying to cook, the most basic, ordinary, boring barbecue, as I call it, week in and week out. It's not the guys trying to wow everybody with that one bite like everyone says. I say it's just go in and give them good, consistent, week in and week out, good food.
There's a lot of, or at least I hear a lot of Darren Worth in that statement, and the competitor in me, and I'm sitting across from, both Desmond and I are not competitive barbecue cooks, so it seems inherent to me, being a competitive guy, that you want to stand out, and that it almost seems counterintuitive to be boring or the best middle-of-the-road barbecue, because the question is, well, how are you able to stand out and rise above 400 other teams that way?
Just cook it perfectly, man. Like the guy at the end of the day that cooks it perfectly and doesn't offend anybody will win and week in and week out. I mean, I think Travis and Darren both prove that every single week.
So
they're probably the two of the most consistent cooks ever.
You said that this was probably one of the best cooks you've ever had. When it came to turn-ins, did you also feel like the meat that you were turning in was Grand Championship quality, or is there really no way to tell between what you think is great and whatever the human element in the tent is going to think is great?
No, I mean, at the end of the cook, Eric does all the tasting, and he kind of gives me feedback, and sometimes he's brutally honest, including on the Invitational day, told me that it was not that good. But, I mean, when we finished, he looked at me and smiled and says, this could be the day. And then he actually just 5 minutes ago showed me a text on his phone that he sent to his wife saying, best cook of the year. And he sent that 2 minutes after we dropped brisket off.
Does it feel...
I mean, we both felt really good.
There's a lot of times when I talk to pitmasters and they say, man, ran that last box, we tasted all the food, we're high-fiving up and down, we felt like it was cook of the century, and all of a sudden you're middle of the pack or worse, and you just can't figure it out. It's got to be refreshing finally to be on the other side of that coin where you're like, hey, great, awesome cook, best cook ever, and you get to win that grand championship for the American Royal Open.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, hardly ever did it go as planned, but it just, I mean, it was one of those days. I mean, I woke up in the morning, I text my dad, who's, been cooking a long, long time, and he cooked in the Houston Livestock Show, and I actually told him that I have a feeling today, and I really thought going into that day we were going to have a good cook, and we were going to have a chance to win, even before we started turning anything in. It was just, I had a feeling, and I wanted it bad. We had a laser focus and put our heads down, and we did it.
Blaine Hunter joining me from Porky Butts Barbecue, talking about the big win at the American Royal Open. Blaine, last week I was talking with Bob Trudnak from the Barbecue Guru, and he mentioned that he had took a 180 in chicken at the Sam's Club Regional in Virginia that weekend, and he did it with legs. So the question is, Blaine, did you see, including yourself, anyone turning in all legs this past weekend at the American Royal?
I know a few guys that cook them. I didn't see them personally, and I did not cook them. I went to the traditional thighs. I have been experimenting with them and been thinking about moving over to it because for years I did breast and thighs, but lately I've been just doing thighs. But I think we need to change it up a little bit. So I've been thinking about running legs in the future.
So legs doesn't fall into that category of being middle of the road because it's safe to say the judge is going to be expecting to see thighs. So when they pop the box open, it might be a little eyeball popping to them to see a basket full of legs than it would be thighs, which is probably what they're expecting.
Yeah, but I think that, there's not that much different. It's not what you're throwing some big, bold, herbaceous flavors on them or a ton of spice or a ton of sweet. It's just a leg to thigh. It's basically connected before we disjoin it anyways.
That's right.
I think it's just something different. Not earth-shattering by any means, but I think if you cook legs perfectly, you'll score just as well as you will with thighs.
It seems stupid to ask, Blaine, but that's why they pay me the big bucks. Does this win currently rank first above and beyond any other grand championship to date?
Yeah. I'd say my first one was pretty moving, but this is so far beyond because it means so much more to me and my family, and with the opportunity to go compete at the Houston Livestock Show with my dad and my brothers and, my good friend Eric, and a lot of my good friends are planning on going. It's going to be, it's the biggest moment of my life so far besides getting married and having kids.
So when you guys are announced as grand champion, as you get to reserve, maybe it's a little easier to keep track of calls when it's 25 or 30 or 40 teams, but when you get into the 400 or 500 type styles, might be a little bit more difficult. Are you able to kind of keep track and have a sense of where you might be as they're going to start to call grand champion, or no way?
Yeah, we felt pretty good about it because we knew Jerry had 3 calls, I think, or 2 calls, and he's always solid, finishing third the day before, and we knew, it was always shake and bake. He had a 180 in pork, and we were kind of counting it down, and we knew chicken was we thought was our best category, and that was the only thing we didn't get a call in. And with the 2 180s in pork and brisket, we felt pretty confident that we were going to be in the top 5. And when they called the first 4, I was pretty certain that was going to be us. But I mean, it was still one of those moments when you hear your name that it was hard to hold back some emotion.
What's it like to be wearing the crown, on the throne, having the big trophy and the cape and a robe or whatever they call it, and sitting there kind of in front of your peers and kind of getting that love back from them? Because I don't think I'm speaking out of school when I say when you talk to pitmasters about other pitmasters, you're kind of one of those guys they bring up as being one of the good guys and great guy to talk to, helpful with the information, not kind of a, shut away and get away from me, but it's got to be nice to kind of get that affection back from them in that setting, especially.
Oh. I can tell you when they got down to reserve and they were getting ready to, we thought, call our name, and I saw Darren and Sherry kind of running towards the stage and pointing at me, and then I saw my big group of Tex buddies moving towards the stage, and then I see Sterling Ball moving towards the stage, and as they call my name, they all just greet me with big hugs, and it was. And then you get up on stage and you look down and see those, Tuffy Stone and Travis Clark and guys like that just showing emotion and clapping and cheering. It's a feeling that, these people you looked up to and you think are the greatest, and now they're cheering you on. It's a feeling like you wouldn't believe.
Blaine Hunter joining me here on the show, recapping the big win at the American Royal this past weekend. Blaine, are you going to be doing World Food Championships this year?
I'm not signed up for it at the time. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out if it's still open, but I have no plans right now. I mean, I've been taking it week to week. I'm not on a big mission to compete every week. We're off this week. We've been trying to do every other week. So at this point, the only thing I really have planned is my regional for Sam's, and then hopefully we can make it to the nationals. But I really don't have anything else planned for the year other than comp here and there.
He is your 2017 American Royal Open Grand Champion out of 400-plus teams, Desmond. Can you believe it? It's a lot of teams, right?
Yeah, that sounds amazing every time I hear it.
Desmond is speechless. Rarely is he at a loss for words, but he can hardly speak about 400 teams. So we're competing against each other in the backyard every other weekend. I win every time, of course. But to be up against 399 other great cooks, that's something else. So quite an accomplishment. Blaine, I really appreciate the time tonight. Thanks so much for doing it. Congratulations again.
Thanks, sir.
You got it. Blaine Hunter, right there. Grand 400 teams. Do I have you on mute? You might not be back on the show. Put your mouth up on. It's a show, bro.
I was talking and you had me. You had me muted.
Have you muted.
First and foremost, you insulted me by saying you win every time, and I couldn't even speak to defend myself.
That's right.
Great job.
I did it. Thank you. Guess what? I win every time. Oh, what? That's right. Well, it's not like it. Well, I mean, I guess every weekend. It's not a competition, though. Wait, I do. Oh, sorry.
Can I have my mic back?
Yeah,
Thank you. It's not a competition.
It's not a competition.
Hey,
we're into sharing.
What's going on with the 16th? Are we doing Hartville?
Well, you know what's happening with the 16th. I announced it at the top of the show. Big fan, I see. Big fan.
Okay, the kids were getting baths. I'm sorry.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
Greg Rempe reporting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network breaking news desk here in the basement. Desmond, I'm hosting that. Hello.
I understand that. I seen that by the post. I was just saying.
Man. I'm working.
No, I wanted to know if I was coming.
Well, I don't know. Are you coming? I mean, I'm going to be there all day. I'm happy to see you.
That's fine.
Yeah. I'm not competing, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
I'm going to be like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the main stage. It's Chef so-and-so.
Yep.
All right, Chef so-and-so, tell us what you're doing with that spatchcock chicken. I didn't say anything offensive, ladies and gentlemen. I said spatchcock. All right. We're going to wrap it up here in just 1 second. I'm going to talk to you quickly about the Barbecue Guru. That's right, the longest running sponsor of this here show. Folks, if you're looking to turn up the heat on your barbecue skills this summer, you're going to need to head over and get the most advanced ceramic cooker and high-tech barbecue accessory to hit the market, maybe ever. We're talking about the all-new Monolith Barbecue Guru Edition and CyberQ Cloud Controller. Just launched a few weeks ago by the Barbecue Guru, the world's first temperature-controlled ceramic smoker/grill with a built-in power draft fan. It's going to give you the easiest, most successful barbecue experience ever. These must-have new products will make barbecuing easier than ever before, and you will be your new secret weapon for cooking delicious food each and every time. Ready to buy? Of course. Head on over to bbqguru.com and grab them up while they last. If you have any questions about what to order, please call, don't guess, 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. Or visit the website, bbqguru.com. That's bbqguru.com. The Barbecue Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. Desmond, here's the deal. You know the ceramic cookers, like the Big Green Egg?
Yeah.
So Monolith is its own brand. And at the, we're looking down into it. Over here at the bottom, there's a port, and there's a 10 CFM fan built into it. All you have to do is get a Barbecue Guru controller, hook it right into there. Everything else is already built in. You don't have to worry about, like, jimmying all this stuff together. Because, I could never do that.
Yeah.
It would just have gaps and terrible airflow. Now, Monolith has it all taken care of. With the CyberQ Cloud, you can share your cook. You can post your cook live to Facebook so people can track your temperature and how it's going. Believe it or not. How about that? Again, it's bbqguru.com or 800-288-GURU. And Desmond and I will be back to wrap up the show here in just 1 second. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever.
Finishing up.
Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
Thanks again to Blaine Hunter for joining me last segment, talking about the big win at the American Royal Open.
That's amazing.
400 teams.
400.
Let me tell you what the best thing he said all interview was. I got loaded and screwed up my invitational side. I had to dial back in. And when he dialed in, guess what?
He won.
Won it.
What's up, Bob?
More than 3 times more. So, more than 3 times more teams. Now, the devil's advocate would say you win the invitational, you have to be invited to go there. You have to win a grand championship at some point in order to get there during that year. So, but I think that's a testament to say, hey, I got a little loose, reined myself back in, right. Laser focus.
Get a little kick in the ass.
Now we win. American Royal Open winner. And that's huge. In the instant chat, Desmond?
I'm listening.
Yes. John Solberg says you can roll with him at Hartville. He's going to be there competing in the chicken category.
Absolutely. That sounds awesome.
I'll make the introduction.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
Can I still enter?
I don't know. You have to go online.
If you're judging, you should know these things.
I'm not judging. I'm hosting.
Oh, host.
I'm hosting.
Okay, Steve Harvey.
Remember.
Can I get in?
I'm your man, Greg Rampe. I don't know. I just have to provide the segues into different portions, I think.
I just feel like I need to get involved.
I haven't had a full email dissertation on where the expectation is. I did ask for that.
Okay.
But, hey, I would really love to know. I don't want to just come shout out of a cannon and do my own thing because, they told me what happened to the last host. Last year, she got a little loose with the language, if you know what I mean.
Not good for a lady.
No.
Absolutely.
Well, not good down there, I guess. That's very, Hartville's a little bit more conservative.
Absolutely.
This and that. So they're like, hey, I'm like, when I'm on professional, I don't swear. So don't worry about F-bombs or S-bombs or MFers or anything. Desmond,
Yo.
Update. Hartville? Closed.
Son of a...
Nah. Can't do it.
Sorry.
You can stand off in the corner and be my security.
Hey, 64285. Whatever you need.
Yeah, I'll be the guy going like this. Help me.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
43, by the way. All right, let's work out of here. All the way back in the first hour, we talked with Dr. Barbecue Ray Lampe, who now has his own real radio show in Tampa on The Bone.
Yeah, in Tampa, huh?
Hey, Desmond.
Yo.
He's on The Bone.
In Tampa.
In Tampa. 9:35, we had Travis Clark from Clark Crew BBQ winning the American Royal Invitational, doing the recap there. Then we talked with David Marks, of course, talking about Operation Barbecue Relief, OperationBBQRelief.org. Please
get involved,
donate.
please.
Go donate.
Please.
And money-wise, do the donating of the money. And then we talked with Blaine Hunter from Porky Butts Barbecue winning the open side of the American Royal this past weekend as well. So, Desmond, thank you for showing up this week. Fabulous to have you.
I think we rekindled the magic. I got to do this more often.
I really wish I would have believed that you would have come. I would have left a little bit more time, but
well, I got to stop. I got to stop going to sleep so early. It's just kids.
I had no reason to believe.
I'm on vacation this week.
Vacation. Vacation.
Yeah.
Big show planned for next week, September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.
Take care.